See, this stuff just kind of ticks me off. It's the top of the hour here. It's like whatever, 11:01 or a little later now. I'm trying to watch CNN. I tend to lean left, so I switch between Fox and CNN whenever I want to try to watch stuff. So it's talking about the old story on the bottom, but it's going to change the thing in a minute here. So I'm just going to watch this, and it's no secret Obama is a Democrat. It's no secret he came out and supported Joe Biden, who I'm on the fence about as well, despite the fact that, he didn't actually come out and support him until he had outright won the nominee, which I found a little, I don't know, maybe I feel the same way about Joe. But, with this pandemic and, the social stuff as well as the economic stuff, you really can be on the fence between Joe Biden and Trump. There are only two picks. Which one makes more sense? Who's got the better plan? Whatever. So Obama offers up something, but look at the headline here. All right, when this thing goes away, it says Obama calls White House response to pandemic a quote chaotic disaster. So if you read that, right, CNN? I mean, of course, you would understand that Obama must have called the White House response to the pandemic a chaotic disaster. And that's kind of how CNN works. But then they actually do the point of playing his actual words. And it's kind of what I think about, it's more an unaffiliated stance. It's no secret he does not like Donald Trump. That ain't it. But he's going to go out of his way to say something that's pretty smart. But of course, CNN falls hook, line, and sinker for the exact sort of behavior he's kind of condemning with respect to the response. So I'm just going to get into it. First, I'll rewind it a little bit, and then I'll play the little minute blurb, and then I'll, psychoanalyze it for CNN. Because if you look at it, clearly Obama must have called the White House response to the pandemic a chaotic disaster. It's divisive, go Joe, whatever they need to say to, like, if you watch that for a split second, that's your takeaway. But really, no, he was being pretty fair. Watch.
About and Barack Obama is speaking out about the pandemic. In a private call to former members of his administration, Obama had some harsh words for the way the crisis is being handled.
What we're going to be battling is not just a particular individual or a political party, but what we're fighting against is these long-term trends in which being selfish, being tribal, being divided, and seeing others as an enemy, that has become a stronger impulse in American life. And by the way, we're seeing that internationally as well. And it's part of the reason why the response to this global crisis has been so anemic and spotty, and it would have been bad even with the best of governments. It has been an absolute chaotic disaster when that mindset of what's in it for me and to heck with everybody else, when that mindset is operationalized in our government.
Let's start our coverage at the White House with CNN's Kristen Holmes.
So again, Obama calls the White House response to the pandemic a chaotic disaster. No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened once. He's talking about selfish tribal people. And it's not a particular party. It's the mindset. It's the selfish, what's in it for me mindset. Now you're going to report that story. Well, what's in it for you? Bash Trump. It's no secret he doesn't like Trump. Even I don't like Trump. I'm on the fence with Joe Biden. I mean, for a couple of reasons. But But, really, which one of them has the better policy I don't blame Trump for coronavirus. Every liberal blames Trump for coronavirus. Not one of them blames the Chinese government, of course. Well, why would we do that? It's Trump. Wait a minute. And then all the Republicans, they'll bash Cuomo or something. He was obnoxious at first with the going on TV. Now he's been doing pretty well. But, they even sort of play nice in the sandbox sometimes. But it just goes to the point of, well, right, like they couldn't do that at the beginning of it. It's not one party or the other. Pelosi and Joe Biden alike condemned Trump for the travel ban in January with China, for one. And so, wait a minute, out of the two of them, wait a minute. But, I don't know. It just frustrates me that you can completely rewrite a narrative on your bottom of your screen and say that Obama called the White House response to the pandemic a chaotic disaster. He called the government's response a chaotic disaster. That includes Congress. That includes everybody. He's not the end-all, be-all. He's a private citizen again. He made mistakes under his watch, too. But it's just really kind of telling that if you read that, you would assume that in some way whatsoever, Obama called the White House response to the pandemic a chaotic disaster. But he didn't. That's not what he said once. In fact, he didn't even mention the president. Although we understand, he absolutely falls into the same... Both sides fall into that exact same criteria that he lays out. I don't know why he's not a little bit more vocal burying his own party, because well, of course, he suffers from a little of the same selfish way. He's not unaffiliated where he should be at this point. But if you look at these words, being selfish, being tribal, being divided, seeing others as an enemy, that has become a stronger impulse in the American way of life. That's not Republicans or Trump fans. That's every single one of you people who are dogmatic on the left or the right, particularly CNN. You're worse than Hannity these days. And look what you're going to do with his words. You're going to insinuate that he called the White House response a chaotic disaster. He called the response a chaotic disaster. He offered no, here's what we should do himself. But the point is, I agree with him. Because he even says, even with the best of it, this would have been a disaster. With the best of, we're all on the same page government, whatever that ideal would be. And certainly wouldn't have been, under his watch either, where pretty much it was getting there with the divisiveness. But this is ridiculous. And, it just bothered me that CNN put that out. So, anyway, I can't watch them. I cannot watch them.